Τη σημαντική θέση της Ελλάδας στην ανάπτυξη της ευρύτερης περιοχής της Νοτιοανατολικής Μεσογείου τόνισε ο Αμερικανός Βουλευτής των Δημοκρατικών Τζον Σαρμπάνης, που βρέθηκε στην Αθήνα για συμπόσιο με θέμα την ψυχική υγεία και τη δημοκρατία. Εξήγησε επίσης στο Euronews υπό ποιους όρους θα μπορούσαν να βελτιωθούν οι σχέσεις της Τουρκίας τόσο με τις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες όσο και με την Ευρώπη. Τζον Σαρμπάνης, thank you for this interview to Euronews Greek. We'll start with a question about the American economy. Yeah. It seems that it's facing different headwinds, and some say it will be difficult to avoid a recession. Do you share these concerns, and what would it take for the American economy to regain its vigor?
Actually, I mean, we always need to be concerned about a recession, but I think the forecast now is a little better than it was even months ago, because inflation, it appears, has been coming down, so the price of goods is less than it was for the public. But you can't yet guarantee that we'll avoid a recession, so we have to be careful, and I think the president is trying to navigate these very difficult challenges to make sure that the economy can continue to grow moving forward. And of course, globally, everything is more interconnected, so events other places can influence the economy, and sometimes that's unpredictable. But I feel a little more confident now, actually, about the economic forecast than, say, 6 months ago. And I think a lot of economists have a balanced view of where the economy is heading.
Right. What makes you more confident?
Well, consumer demand continues to be pretty strong, even as we're getting a handle on inflation. Also, the Biden administration made some very significant investments in the last 2 years, infrastructure, manufacturing of chips and other products in the United States, efforts to address energy efficiency and address climate change. These are major investments, and they'll produce, I think, economic gains for the country over the coming years. So you have that as a kind of stabilizing investment at a macro level, and that bodes well for the economy.
Lately, a number of countries opt out of transactions made in US dollars. They choose different currencies. Do you see this trend continuing, and do you think that it will affect the dominant place of the dollar in the world economy?
I think the dollar is going to continue to play a strong role. But, you know, each country has to make their own decisions based on what's happening at a given moment. But again, I think that the United States is a good place to invest. It's a good bet. It's a good economy. We were able to address the issues with raising the debt ceiling to make good on our promise in terms of the creditworthiness of the United States. So all of that, I think, helps.
You're a strong advocate of Greece's positions in Washington. How do you assess Greece's ambition to become an energy and new technologies hub in Eastern Mediterranean, and what do you believe will it take to get to this goal?
Well, I think Greece is already establishing itself as an effective energy hub in this region. It's become a leader, as we know, within the European Union with respect to renewable energy efforts. And I think it can be a model, and that's something that I find to be very exciting, because I'm certainly focused on what the next frontier is in terms of our energy portfolio globally. So Greece is very much in a leadership position. And I think that's within the EU. It's certainly also just within this region, in the Eastern Mediterranean region. So we look forward to some collaborations between the United States and Greece.
And you are working on new funds for innovative energy projects between EU and the US. What are these projects about, and could Greece be part of them?
One thing in particular, under the Eastern Mediterranean Security and Energy Partnership Act, which we passed in Congress a few years ago, there was a provision for the U.S. Department of Energy to establish an Eastern Mediterranean Energy Center to do research, to figure out how to apply new technologies and new ideas. So certainly Greece, being a key player in the Eastern Mediterranean region, will be a partner in those efforts. I think it'll be one of the central partners. So we hope to be able to obtain funding to support these efforts. But already there's collaboration going on with Greece. You look at what's happened with the port of Alexandroupolis. This is a major step forward in terms of a U.S.-Greece partnership around energy. But other renewable energy initiatives indicate that Greece is going to be at the center of this conversation going forward.
And tensions in the Eastern Mediterranean have eased lately. Do you believe that the new Erdogan rule will bring Turkey closer to EU and the US?
We have to wait and see. There's hope and expectation that based on some recent statements and positions that President Erdogan has taken, that maybe he's willing to take the temperature down. But with Erdogan, I always find the best thing is to follow what he does, not what he says. And he still has to show that actions can be relied upon. So we'll see what happens in the coming months. We have the NATO conference coming up at the beginning of July. That may be an opportunity for some conversations to occur. And hopefully we can improve the situation, because I've been very concerned about the behavior of Turkey in the Eastern Mediterranean. It's very provocative, it's aggressive. It's not how an ally should conduct itself with another NATO ally and member. And the United States has been concerned and critical about that.
And do you see finally the U.S. selling the F-16 aircraft to Turkey?
Again, we have to see. I think there's a combination of things. Certainly people are focused on whether Turkey will approve the membership of Sweden to come into NATO, but that's just one thing. We have to see that Turkey will stop these overflights of Greek territory, which are very destabilizing to the region. I believe that Erdogan needs to pull back from this blue homeland doctrine, which again is an aggressive posture to take in the region, and other things to demonstrate that he's willing to behave like a responsible, trustworthy ally of the United States, of Greece, of others who are part of NATO and beyond. If he can demonstrate these things, and if we can be confident that we can rely on those things, then we can look at selling F-16s. Otherwise, I remain very concerned about that.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Yeah, thank you.